There's a message that says, "Are you a top or a bottom?" And I replied, "A burden." My dating life for a very long time has been dead. The night I broke up with my ex last year, I told myself, I've got to get sluttier. I'm dreaming of doing just that, yet my 7-inch heels have been collecting dust under my bed. Recently, I have been more open to dating and I have been trying to date. And I think what's been driving me is the desire to have someone to complain to. My name is Shanil Lal. I'm 22 years old. I have been once described as a BIPOC supremacist and a homosexual extremist. And I am probably best known for leading the movement to ban conversion therapy in Aotearoa. Parents need to start understanding that they do not have authority on changing their children simply because they don't agree with their sexuality or their gender identity or their gender expression. How would I want people to slide into my DMs? Ideally with a cat and fried chicken. I grew up in a very hostile environment where nothing was ever certain or confirmed. Now I feel like I am in a place in my life where I can control everything and keep everything stable. But I think dating is one of those things that you never really know how it's going to turn out. Grindr is such a fuckfest. I love a mess. I want to put everyone on Grindr in horny jail. Grindr can also be a dangerous place to be. Sometimes I would scroll on accounts on Grindr and their bios would read, no Asians, or no blacks, or no femmes. It's either that people don't want to date Asians or people of color or black people at all, or they have this weird fetish thing. Sometimes I do get messages from old white men, and those messages are often so disgusting that I just have to delete the app altogether. All of their gross underlying beliefs just come out. White, cis, gay men sit on the top of the queer social hierarchy. As soon as homosexuality ceases to be a barrier, they will be no different from cis-het white men. So the only place they are able to exercise the fullness of their white privilege is in the queer community. Do I enjoy being a public figure? To be fair, I don't. But I understand that it is necessary and important for the work that I do. Sometimes people send me death threats and sometimes people send me free drinks. So that is reflected on dating apps. I get two types of messages. I got a message from a boy who said, "Shanil, is that you?" And I said, "Well, yes." And then the next thing was, "I will end your career." And the other one is they put me on a pedestal and worship me, and it's often like, "Oh my God, I cannot thank you enough for what you have done for queer people of color." And I just think, well, you can tell me this through email. Ever since I have gained more than 50,000 followers, I have censored myself. When I think about how I have to hide who I really am to present this serious, formal person to the public, what that does is closes off an entire category of people that I could be dating. Don't jump! In hindsight, I would really just like to be a reckless teenager for a bit, playing with cats at a cat cafe or sitting at the beach with my gay umbrella. I met this guy on Grindr about 2 years ago, and because Grindr had already been such a daunting place, I'd never really attempted to meet him. And I was like, hold up, I've known this person for so many years. So I was like, hey, we should hang out. We met up on Karangahape Road and went thrifting, which was really lovely. I bought a mesh top with little flowers on them. A lot of the times when you're on a date, you're constantly worried about whether you're impressing the other person. But I think we were comfortable enough with each other to not be constantly worried about what the other person was feeling. It was really nice to be able to finally let that fear of meeting people from Grindr get out of the way. because I feel like the fear was really just getting in the way of some really nice friendships. My idea of safety is heavily influenced or informed by my childhood. I was growing up in a country where homosexuality was a crime till I was about 10 years old. To be safe, you had to hide. As trans people, we are taught that something as little as our safety is a radical concept, so finding love feels like a privilege. I still fear uncertainty, and I think that's the fear that will stay with me for a very long time, as long as I'm a control freak, I guess. But after hanging out with this guy from Grindr and a lot of other men, I feel more hopeful about dating. Maybe not everyone on Grindr is out to get me, and not everyone is trying to slice my throat. And when I decide that I really want to date, I could make it happen. The ideal man would really be the Greek god with a golden retriever's personality. Henry Cavill, if you're watching, I'm single.